Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Time for another Saturday Anything Goes project. And I have just had so much fun playing with my favorite, and that is the Sailing Home bundle. Now, that's a little unusual for me because you know me, I like flowers, but this is such a versatile stamp set. And the DSP is so beautiful, and it's gender neutral. I mean, you can make masculine cards, you can make more feminine cards. It just depends on the paper and the ink that you choose. And I wanted to show you, here's just a couple of cards that I have made. And as you can see, we have one that is kind of a lighter tone. I used some crumb cake to go along with this strip of striped paper from the Come Sail Away DSP. And this one is much bolder with the navy blue and the compass rose. And it's pretty busy because I'm using several different patterns out of the DSP. So it really is a versatile set. And it's got great dies within it. It also coordinates with a stamp set that came out last year by the name of High Tide. So you can mix and match them. That's what we're going to be working with today. But instead of a card, my husband goes to the doctor all the time. I think we had 5 doctor's appointments last week. And he has some really great doctors. They're sweet and their staff is wonderful. Several have even given us their cell phone numbers in case we need it. And so I wanted to do something other than just a card to say thank you to them. And what we're going to be doing today is making sticky note holders. I did a video last year on it, but because the fact that we had this wonderful suite and I need giftables again, I thought we would revisit that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the sticky note holder, and I use the Mosaic Moods for this one. But it's really nice. It sits well on a desk. It's got the pen and the sticky notes in it. And it's really easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of product. Basically, what we're going to be using is 1 sheet of the Seaside Spray cardstock, and then just a few pieces of the Come Sail Away DSP. And I'm sticking with the light colors again and the little lighthouses, and we'll stamp and cut out one of the ships, or one of the, I shouldn't call it a ship, Linda. It's a boat. It's a sailboat. And we will use that as part of the sentiment. All right, so what do you say we get started? So what we're going to need is this. Let me bring in my goodie bag. You will need, out of that one 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, you're going to cut 3 pieces. And the pieces are going to be the following. You'll need one that is 3 3/4 by 11 inches. You'll need a piece that is 3 3/4 by 7 1/4. And then you'll need a small piece, which is a 2.5 inch square. And this is going to be inside as the pen holder. And for DSP, we need one piece that's 3.5 by 3.5. One more piece that is 2.5 by 3.5. And I've got some Whisper White here and a rectangle, stitch rectangle die, or stitch square die. We're going to be using all of that. But first, let me show you how this goes together. I'll bring out the scoreboard. If I can get it. Come here, you. All right, they're sticking together. There we go. So we'll bring that out. And let me bring it down to where you can see where we're going to be scoring. I think everybody can see that. So the first piece we're going to take is our 3 3/4 by 11. We're going to have the long edge running along the top, and we're going to score it at 4 inches, at 8 inches, at 9 inches, and at 10 inches. All right, and that's all the scoring we do for that piece. Now we'll bring in our piece that is 4 3/4 by 7 1/4, and on the short edge, the 4 3/4 edge, we're going to score a 1/2 inch. We're going to score at 4 inches. Wait, is that right? Yeah, the short side. Oh, I'm looking at the long side. So 1/2 inch, and then just rotate it and do 1/2 inch on the other side. So 1/2 inch on each of the short sides. Then rotate it so you have your long side along the top. We're going to score this at 4 inches and 4.5 inches. And that's it for that. Our little bitty 2.5 inch square, we're simply going to score this at 1/2 inch. I should say we're going to score at every 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. And what this will do, we'll fold that up into a little box, and that will hold our pen. All right, that's all the scoring I need to do. So let me put this away. And let's start folding and burnishing and get this put together. Make sure I've got the right sides, and let me get out my bone folder. We want nice crisp edges. Now, this is actually going to be the stand for our sticky note holder. So it's this piece right here. We're going to fold it accordion style. So I did that one. I'm going to take this one the opposite way and then fold the last one back towards the top. And then what we'll do is this will come together. We'll glue that down and it will be like that. All right, but let's continue on first. Just folding and burnishing all my lines. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. It has sure been hot here. It got up to 91 degrees yesterday. I'm not complaining though. You know me, I like the heat. All right, so this is actually going to form the part that will hold our sticky note and our box. And because of that, we need to do just a little bit of cutting. Right here where you have this small square in the center, you're going to cut up, and this will become flaps. So we'll do that on both sides. Just like that. All right, so now that will form the basis of our sticky note holder, just like that. I like a smooth edge, so we'll bring out the trio punch, and I'm going to round the corners up here. That just gives it a nice finished look. So we'll just bring this in, put it along the right side there. You certainly don't have to do this, but I just think it really makes it look nice. And if you don't have the trio punch and you just have a corner rounder, you certainly can use that. You can also use on the envelope punch board, it has a corner rounder on it. All right. So this will go like that. Before we do that though, remember we need a pen holder. My first ones that I made didn't have a pen holder, and I included a pen, but it just kept flopping over. So this will make sure that it has a nice little place to sit and get rid of that floppiness. So I just folded and burnished all of those sides. And what I'll do now to make it a box is just glue those two flaps together. In comes our glue. Hi, Sandy. Cool and overcast. Well, I guess it just depends. Now, British Columbia is beautiful, even when it is overcast. So, but I like my sunshine and my warm weather. All right. So that quickly, we've got our little holder done. And that will sit on the inside here. You can attach it now. I prefer to wait until I've actually made the box. That way I can snug it right up against the edge. One thing we can do though is we can lay in some of our DSP. So the piece that is, let's see, the 3.5 by 3.5 is going to line the inside. So let me put a little liquid glue on there. Well, I have a bottle that just wants to come all gloppy. So I got to be careful I don't squeeze it at all. All right, and it's not going to go all the way down to that center crease, but that's okay. It will be hidden. All right, let's take our flaps and we'll put this together. I'm using liquid glue because I like that little extra time it gives me, but you certainly could use tear-in tape if you prefer. So it's a little bit tricky here, but I just have to hold it. But all I'm doing is bringing this outside edge right here, laying the flap inside it, making sure it's snug, and just giving it a little press, waiting for that to adhere. So far, so good. This, then, we will glue the outside flaps down there. If you want to put your box in now, you certainly can. What you'll do is you'll glue it on the back side and the side, but let me show you why I like to do it when it's all together. To make it really stable, I glue it on 3 sides. So the back side, the side that faces our flap, and then I also glue this front so that it doesn't wiggle at all. So I'm going to wait to put mine in until I get the rest of this constructed. And for that, all I have to do is just apply liquid glue, but this time we're putting it on the right edge, the inside edge, not outside like we normally would for flaps, because we want it to sit just like that. Make sure that you're squared as much as possible. And then I turn it over and run my bone folder to make sure it is evenly attached. And we'll do the same with this one. Just fold it out of the way there so I can see what I'm doing. And wrap that around as well, making it as square as possible. All right. Now I can take this and glue it on 3 sides and pop it in there. That's what I'm going to do. Make sure you leave whatever side is going that way free of glue because you don't want the sticky note sticking to it. So just glue 3 sides. One more side. Come on. There we go. And the side that doesn't have glue, I am facing that way. So this one doesn't have glue, faces that way. And you can just slide this in and tamp it down. And then I press the back and the front together to make sure both of those seal. All right, there we go. Now we can go ahead and attach the smaller piece of DSP to the outside. So as you can see, this goes together really fast. And I love this color, Seaside Spray. It is just the perfect gray blue. All right, so that is, I will call it the working part, since it holds the pen and the sticky note, but it's not very stable. It's standing up. So that is what this is for. Remember we did that accordion fold. I'll put glue right along this part and then just press this down and hold it in place for a moment or two. Give it time to bond because this is what gives your holder stability. See, that stands up very well. And now what we can do is glue the two pieces together, just like that. I'm generous with my glue here. I do want it to have a good bond. And now I'll just stand this up and make sure that it's all square. So I'm looking down here at the bottom to make sure that that meets up. And then just kind of squashing down, and I'm going to rub inside here. And there we go. So that stands up very, very well. And it's simple to put our, Post-it notes in there, as well as this is one of the short RSV pens that I bought online. And so it sits very well, just like that. Pretty, but we need to decorate it a little bit. Looks kind of naked. So let me take these pieces out and show you what we're going to do for that. I'll bring in my scrap of Whisper White. First, I want to choose a sentiment. And there are some really nice ones on here. You could go with a simple thanks if you like. I want this to be a little more special. And I love this, set sail in the direction of your dreams. I think that's just such a lovely sentiment. So I'm going to pull that one out. Let's see if I can find it. Which one is it? This one here. And then I'm also pulling out one of the sailboats. Do we want the bigger one here? I think we want the smaller one. That big one is nice, but just takes up too much room. So we'll use the smaller one. And then I'll bring in my Seaside Spray, one of the new in colors. And let me get a block here for my sailboat. And a little trick I learned, and it worked really well the last time I used it. I have a problem with my sentiments not being straight. And I watched a video, I can't remember who it was by, but she recommended when you mount it on your stamp, on your block, don't mount it straight, actually mount it at an angle, and that's going to force you to pay attention to the edges of your stamp rather than the edges of your block. Now when I put my sticker on, I did do it just a little bit wonky, but I think this will still work. Remember, I'm using a stitch square, so I need to leave room on all four sides. Oh, look at that. It actually came out straight. Woohoo! And then bring out my Big Shot platform here. And we're going to angle this because it goes through the Big Shot so much easier if you don't have it where the edge is along the very top. So, okay, where's my washi tape here? Because my magnets are just pulling this all over the place, so never be afraid. And I'm going to actually pull it to where the sentiment is all the way over on the right-hand side because our sailboat is going to be next to it. All right. We'll cut this out. Pardon me if the camera shakes, but I've got the Big Shot on the desk where my webcam is. Alrighty. Carefully pull away your washi tape. And there is our sentiment. Now let's stamp our sailboat. And there is a die for this, yay. So no fussy cutting required. It's this one right here. Let me just line that up. Pardon my head if it gets in the way. Always manage to get these wonky, so I'm going to try my best. All right, and we'll run that through the Big Shot. Hello, Patricia. Hi, Lisa. All right, here. I know, Sandy, I love this too. And the only reason that I got it, I mean, it was in the pre-order. So hello, of course, you know, you want to get as much of the new stuff as possible. But I saw some still shots from On Stage, and the way they use it was just phenomenal. So I'm like, yep, think I need to get it. All right, let me put my die away before I lose it since it's a little one. There we go. Now, let's see about putting all of this together. All right, so there we have the front. And I think I want to matte this sentiment because I think it just needs a little something. So I'm going to glue this on here, and then I'll cut away what I don't need. I'm finding that's the easiest way for me to do matting. Oop, come on. Don't give out on me now. All right. See if I can line this up straight. And I don't want a really large border, but I don't want a tiny one either. I do want you to be able to see that mat. Okay. Now let's see if the scissors and I can get along today. If I can cut a straight line. When it's little like this, I think I do much better. I'm going to cut a little bit off right here. Still a little too wide. There we go. I think I like that. And then we need to decide, are we just going to glue it straight down or are we going to pop it up? Remember that our sailboat's going to go here like that. I think I'm going to pop it up, guys. I like dimension, and since I'm hand delivering this, I don't have to worry about it going through the mail. So I can put as much dimension on it as needed. So we'll do this. My upline is having an open house tomorrow and invited me. I can't wait to go see the projects that she's done. All right, so here, I think I want it right about there. Gently lay it down, that way I can adjust it as needed. All right, just like that. And then for the sailboat, I will glue the right-hand side, but I definitely have to pop up the left-hand side. And let me show you a little trick. Instead of having to cut up a bunch of dimensionals, because I think even the mini dimensionals would be a little too wide for up here. If you remember, Stampin' Up! Came out with these foam adhesive strips, and I had stuck mine in a drawer and was cleaning out my drawer the other day and rediscovered them. So this is going to be perfect to give me that dimension that I need. So let me just cut a little bit more. I think that's enough for the rest of this. Yeah, perfect. And then I need one more strip because I want it to sit a little bit away from the sentiment. So let's do this. I'm just going to stick it right here, right next to it. And what I'm doing when I put it on here is I'm putting it on and then pushing it as far as my edge will go. And that lets me know if I have it in the right spot. And it's looking like I do. I will peel off the backing on this. And these are really sticky. I used to use these, and I still do occasionally. They're great for doing shaker cards, but they're also really nice for close work like this. Put glue on the rest of it. Up in here too. I want to have a nice fit. And then I will slide it on there where I want it, and it will stop where the strips are on the back. And if you look, see how it gives it just the right height. So there we go. I'm not going to put any bows or rhinestones or anything on that because this is going to Andy's podiatrist. So this will be more along the masculine side. But let me just stick everything in here like this. And there we have our finished product. And I'm just having so much fun. You saw the Mosaic Mood one that I did. I also did this one out of our Painted Seasons DSP because, you know, I got several packs of that back during celebration and had a lot left. So I'm making these for some of my friends. But take this and then just pair it with a card, and you have a wonderful gift set that will come in handy for people in your doctor's offices, for teachers, you know, just any time that you want to say thank you with more than just a card. All right. Well, that was what I wanted to go through with you today, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're a demonstrator, you know that this is on the pre-order list, so you can get your hands on it now. Our customers will have it available starting, I believe, June the 4th. So if you need help with ordering and you're a customer, please don't hesitate to drop me a comment. If you can't wait till June 4th to get this in your hot little hands, consider becoming a demonstrator and you can add this to your very first order. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye now.